Hello and welcome to a special edition of Quays News. Our episode today will be focused on sustainability. I'm Sophie Lyon.
And I'm Lewis Henderson. On today's show, Marta Strzelecka, the Environmental Management Coordinator at the University of Salford, shares what they are doing to become environmentally conscious.
There's obviously challenges around resources as well. There is the changes in thinking and behavior, and we need to see them sort of high up as well. So in our university, for example, our team has just gone through restructuring from being based in a space as an environmental sustainability team to a more central team.
68% of people are experiencing climate anxiety, shown in a survey conducted by YouGov. We've been speaking to people in Salford to see if they're worried.
Are you worried about the climate emergency at the moment?
Yeah, it's actually quite terrible what's going on at the moment. There's a lot of warnings, a lot of not enough changes being made.
And the supermarket chain Co-op has employed robots to start delivering groceries to customers as a way to reduce congestion and carbon emissions.
April marks Earth Month, where environmental awareness is raised.
This year's theme for Earth Month is Invest in Our Planet, which aims to move towards living and working more sustainably.
Marta Strzelecka is the Sustainability and Engagement Officer at the University of Salford and shared what we can do to live more eco-friendly. We're in a climate crisis, but what can we do about it? What are the things that anyone can do to be more sustainable, to help the environment?
So I'll start, because you said anyone, I'll just start with what people can just do in their private life, whether you're a student or you're a staff member. So just coming down to sort of your daily routine, looking at the things you're buying, whether you need them, whether you can borrow them from somewhere, whether you can buy them secondhand, or whether you can try to reduce the plastic packaging, especially that you're buying. The most sustainable product that you can get, or the most sustainable product, is the one that you've already got. So that's something, a really good sort of sustainability tool.
Don't forget to recycle the plastic that you do use. What is the definition of sustainability?
That is a really good question. That you can basically keep doing without depleting resources, without polluting to the point where you're killing life, and where you can basically live in like a symbiotic relationship with the environment, where it's on like a give and take basis. So you try to minimize your negative impact on the environment, and at the same time you try to maximize the benefits, for example, by creating habitats for wildlife.
Sophie Lyon, Quays News. And with the fast fashion industry responsible for up to 10% of global emissions, and British shoppers buying more clothes than any other country in Europe, our reporter Erin Parker visited an RSPCA charity shop to highlight the importance of shopping second-hand.
I think people like to have their own unique sort of style, don't they? They like to be a bit more individual. You're not just following like the mass-produced trends that are being chucked about everywhere. Everyone's wearing the same thing. I think people like to be a bit more unique.
So many one-off pieces you can get in charity shops nowadays where you just don't see it in the high street retailers. It's also giving money back to a good cause. It goes, with our charity, it goes locally. We've got an hospital animal centre in Salford. So rather than going nationally, it stays within the Manchester and Salford area.
Well, we've arrived and we're in this charity shop here to buy some clothing because fast fashion has become one of the top 5 polluters across the world. And second-hand clothing like this within charity shops are super important to try and cut that down. So follow me real quick. As you can see here, just over to the men's section. This is something I picked out earlier. Nice little number here. So with a quick snap on my fingers, and here I am in this lovely number, and they do a lot of clothes like these across these charity shops as well. And let's have a look at what Sophie got as well. Well, our new popular Sophie, and as you have seen, Sophie and I took a trip to a local charity shop where we have found new outfits today for our special broadcast. Little shirt here. Go on, Sophie, show off your number that you've got on.
I got this colourful skirt.
Yeah, nice colourful skirt. I know, and it's really good with the second-hand clothing and, you know, nice pricing as well, of course, with it.
It cost me £12 in total.
There you go. This was £6, so super handy. Amazing. Now, and with that co-op, robots are now roaming our streets.
Carostic investigates.
At 4 miles per hour, sensing any hazards or pedestrians in its path.
Apologies for one or two technical difficulties there. We'll move on. And eco-anxiety is a term that not everyone may have heard of, but it is something that affects a lot of young people.
Yes, and to explain this issue more, our reporter Johnny Kenwright has joined us in the studio to talk more about eco-anxiety.
Yes, that's right, guys. So a third of young people here in the UK are said to be worried about climate change, with a quarter saying that they feel overwhelmed. Now, more young people are said to be very worried compared to older people about climate change, with 18% of over 65 saying they're worried, compared to 31% of 16 to 24-year-olds. Now, the findings of this study and this poll found out that young people are experiencing an epidemic of climate anxiety, and they're increasingly worried about the health of the planet. And according to the Met Office, by summer 2050, our temperatures in the UK are going to be reaching 38 to 43 degrees. Now, I spoke to people around the university today to see what their biggest climate anxieties are and whether they actually care about climate change. Are you worried about the climate emergency at the minute?
Yeah, it's actually quite terrible what's going on at the moment. You know, there's a lot of warnings, a lot of you know, not enough changes being made.
Anything in particular you're anxious about?
Mainly just the polar ice caps, really. You know, that's quite worrying, the rate they're actually melting. So I think it's quite worrying.
Are you anxious about climate change?
I'm so anxious about climate change. I don't want the weather to get hotter in the UK because it's unbearable in summer. My hair will literally go 20 times bigger.
Are you worried at all about climate change?
No.
Any particular reason why?
I don't know much about it.
So how do you feel about the climate emergency? Are you worried? Anything you're particularly anxious about?
It's very worrying. There's lots of areas of the UK that are meant to be underwater. I think it's by like 2050. Where I live back home is going to be underwater pretty soon, so it's quite alarming that that can happen so soon.
Where is that? Where's going to be underwater?
Norwich, I think, a lot of the northwest as well. I think Liverpool, that sort of area is meant to be underwater as well.
Well, Johnny, is there any advice out there for people suffering with eco-anxiety?
Yes, there is advice out there. Mental Health UK have set up some advice for those struggling with eco-anxiety. Now, a big one is keeping active. It's said that keeping active can help alleviate stress and anxiety, and people who keep regular physical exercise are 30% less likely to suffer from depression. Another big one is making light of your cause, your environmental cause. So that can be going out, picking up litter on a walk, organising bigger litter picks, and getting in touch with your council to see how you can volunteer to actually help within the community. It's also very important to know that eco-anxieties are valid. A lot of people are struggling and think that it's not a valid thing to be worried about, but it is, because it's affecting a lot of people. And it's clear to see that climate change is still at the forefront of our minds.
Thank you for that, Johnny.
Now, our reporters Poppy Smart and Hannah Vaness took a visit to Clifford Whitworth Library, where dogs have been helping students through stressful times.
So, with exams on the horizon, Clifford Whitworth Library here in Salford on Peel Park campus have decided to offer help and support for those experiencing stress at this time. So you can come down today and pick up your free exam wellbeing pack, which includes fruit, planners and help and advice for if you're feeling the stress. Or today, they've got guide dogs in all day, which you can come and sit with for a slot of 15 minutes of your choice. The National Library of Medicine released a review in 2016 saying that interacting with animals can reduce depression, improve mood and lower the levels of the stress hormone cortisol in your body.
There is a companion dog. He came out from the puppy raisers because he was withdrawn from guiding. He didn't even get in there because he wasn't assertive enough. He'll find you carrots wherever you go. He'll find you a bag of carrots. He does most of what a guide dog would do. He's just not a qualified guide dog. He will look after Ken. If he falls, he'll bark and tell somebody that he's on the floor to come and get him help.
People with visual impairments like Ken really benefit from companion dogs like these, as they act as their eyes. There are currently 4,800 guide dog partnerships in the UK. How would you say having Harry has changed your life then?
Tremendously. 5 years ago, I'd lost my sight in my right eye. I thought, well, there's nothing else for it, nothing else I can do. So depression set in, and then we found out about guide dogs. Elaine, my wife, got in touch with them, this, that and the other. He's as good as a guide dog, you know, and he's more relaxed. Got me out of bed in the morning, because obviously you have to walk them, and we're inseparable now. That's your questions.
Right. How are you feeling today, Harry? Harry was unable to comment at this time due to being completely distracted by a carrot.
Thank you for tuning in.
Goodbye.